If you feel like a failure every time your blood sugar spikes, this video is for you. I'm not here to preach perfection, but I am here to tell you how I went from panic to power. You don't need perfect numbers, you just need better tools. Hi, I'm Kajal, a diabetes wellness coach, a diabetic of 30 plus years myself, and a sportswear designer, something I'm wearing right now. And I've made this video for people like me, girls like me, women like me, who are trying to balance so many things from culture to career to kids. Okay, I don't have any kids, but I got a whole bunch of nieces and nephews, family, friends, uh, um, cooking, eating well, exercising. It's a lot to handle. And sometimes we lose ourselves in this whole process. So I've made this video for you to feel more confident and comfortable in your own body. Let's face it, in communities of color, culturally, we're kind of not really encouraged to show if we have an illness. I don't like using the word illness. I like to use the word condition. And I chose to own it, style it, show it, and glow anyway. And to make matters worse, when it comes to diabetes care, let's face it, it wasn't really made for people like you and me. All the information online, if you look online, it's usually for those who are not from communities of color. So we don't have the right information or anything that represents us in terms of how we eat, not just food wise, but sitting together with people and then having an auntie come say to us, have another chapati, have another lump of shima. How do you how do you explain that or say it in a respectful but also confident way? If we're not taught that, if we're not shown that, and then if you want to eat culturally, but then you're told to portion out your salmon and mashed potato and I don't know, something that's, I won't say boring, but it's just not culturally your food, then what happens is you don't really fit within your culture because you can't eat that way or be a certain way, but then you do what the nurses and everyone else has told you because that's what is medically correct. And you're just kind of in this crack in the middle. And the thing is, I'm lucky that I used my intuition and my mom and my family fashioned me in a certain way. So, yes, I listened to everything that the doctors have said, the nurses have said, etc. But I also ate culturally and I ate intuitively and I ate balanced ways. I ate in a balanced way so that I didn't lose my culture, I didn't lose me. But at the same time, I was able to eat the way my sugar levels would respond in a positive way. But this is what I'm saying, and this is the frustration. This is why I do what I do, is that there's a when our cultural expectations are not met, we're not talked about in that kind of way online. You don't see foods and medications and mental conversations, sorry, conversations about mental health when it comes to cultural situations. A lot of the tests, a lot of the clinical trials are not done on people like you and I. So if a lot of the data is not based on women of color, then we're obviously going to have information that doesn't resonate with us. But then we have to look at that information because we don't have anything else. So this is why I'm sharing all my learnings, but also my life experience to help women like you who are busy, looking after family, balancing a lot of things, and still trying to be healthy. Whether you're diabetic or not, you could be pre-diabetic, you could be type 2 diabetic. I definitely am, that's my forte. But in general, just being a healthy, well, happy, balanced individual while trying to do all of these things is hard. So if you want to be witnessed culturally, but witnessed as a woman, and witnessed in what you're doing, but witnessed by yourself, I see you. I see you because I've had to see myself. And I don't think these conversations, I don't think we're having enough of them for us to feel confident in ourselves, which is why we are grasping for whatever we have, whatever we can get online. But I'm trying, or even within our communities. But that's why I'm creating this little community for us. Come here and sit with me and let's talk about it. Please, in the comments, write your comments down, ask me whatever you want, because I I know growing up I didn't have that, and I'm trying to create this for my younger version of myself, but also for women like you and me. Habit number one, I stopped making my high sugars a representation of me. I stopped letting myself get shamed for it, shaming myself to say, oh my God, I'm a bad diabetic. Oh my God, I don't know how to look after myself. No, a high blood sugar is not a moral failure. It's just data. That's it. So you know how to go forward. I remember I used to spiral, feel guilty, delaying a correction. I'm sure you do it too. But that's not going to help. Now I just breathe, I correct it, and there's a 3-step hack. Name it, note it, neutralize it. So if you name it and you are 15.2, 22, 12, you've named it. Note it. What happened? Was it hormones? Maybe you ate too quickly when you took your insulin and then you ate within a shorter span of time. Maybe you ate extra because you were hungry, because you're a human being. Note it. And then neutralize it. So if that means take your correction dose, go for a walk, hydrate yourself, that's all you can do. And you move on. It's just a moment. So treat it like that. Habit number two, build in micro rituals and stack them, not rigid routines. So, for example, after every meal, take a 10-minute walk and do it after every meal. It doesn't have to be fantastical, just an easy breezy walk. That'll bring your sugar levels down. It'll start reducing any high blood sugar. And also, your metabolism is slightly higher now. So, you are going to have less of a spike and it'll continue dropping for a while. I've learned to pair my carbs with healthy fats or protein. So, my chapatis will be with a lot of paneer and a lot of gravy. Or I'll have my oats, I'll have it with olive oil and peanut butter. I know it sounds crazy, but it is a really great recipe. And I don't aim for 100, I aim for steady. So I built in these delay buffers. So, for example, before a meal, I'll drink a glass of water. So that way, the insulin has some time to work. I'm full, so I don't go straight for the meal. It kind of works in the hunger sense, but it also works for the insulin. Also, sometimes I take my insulin and I may do a few squats, so I may do a few stretches because then the insulin can get into the body quicker. So these are little buffers that I put in. So little hacks, little micro habits that I add in just so everything works in unison and as quick as possible so that I can eat my favorite foods because I'm a human being too. Blood sugar balance shouldn't be a restriction. It's just about finding your rhythm. I found my rhythm, and I'm hoping that I can help you find your rhythm too. Habit number three, I've designed my day for calm, not control. When I wake up in the morning, yes, I'll have to check my bloods. It's on my phone, it shows up. And I'll take my background insulin first thing. I definitely need that because as soon as I wake up, the sugars are just going to keep rising, even before I put my feet on the ground. So as long as I've done that, I don't look at my phone. I don't do anything that's going to raise my adrenaline in any sort of way. So that's when I will either do a prayer or I'll do a meditation, some deep breathing, and I'll have a glass of water. Why? Because the body gets dehydrated throughout the night. And if you have a high sugar in the morning, because of all this natural ways of having adrenaline and cortisol going in your body, the concentration of glucose is just going to be higher. So, water, prayer, meditation, and yeah, my medication for sure, but no phone. And then I try and batch my meals whenever I've got the energy, or I try and do it on a Sunday and a Wednesday. See video 2, meal prep, cultural meal prep. It's so easy. Why? Is because that way I'm not having decision fatigue. In the week, when it's my snack time, I go for my little container of nuts, whether it's in my bag or it's at home or it's in my office, it's there. I don't have to think about it. In the morning, when I'm making my tea, I make my protein shake. I use a beautiful whey isolate that tastes like juice. Put in my little container. So I've got my protein to go throughout the day. And I can always add water into that so I stay hydrated. These are little things that I do so that my day is planned and it's calm and they're rituals for me because I enjoy doing these things and making my life easier. Another thing also. And this has got nothing to do with blood sugars, but everything to do with blood sugars. I plan my clothes because the last thing you want to do in the morning is like, oh, what am I going to wear? What am I going to do? And not just everyday clothes. I plan also my gym workouts and the clothes I want to wear for that because then I also get excited for the day. Like excited the night before because it's planned in, but I don't have to think about it the next day. I'm like, I already know I'm going to look good when I go to the gym. I already know that, you know what, I'm going to wear my favorite pants with my favorite lipstick. It's exciting the night before, but the next day I'm not thinking when I've woken up and I'm really tired because the last thing you want to do is, yes, excitement is excitement, but it's also stress for your body. So these are little things that help me keep my day calm through happy rituals, which if you do, your blood sugars are also going to be happy. A regulated nervous system equals a regulated blood sugar system. So if one is great, the other one will be too. Look, I still get high blood sugars, but I don't spiral about it. I trust my body and she trusts me back. I know certain things will spike me. I know certain times of the month will spike me. But by dwelling on it and feeling bad for it and being shamed about it, ashamed about it, it's not going to help me. So now I just talk to my body, be like, okay, that was a bit of a blip. What are we going to do now? I'm going to help you now. Let's go forward. And your body listens. Trust me. She really does. Because when you don't do that, you're stressing your body. And that's going to cause your sugars to go high. So when you're calm, your body is more likely to collaborate with you. Those high blood sugars, they might happen, but they're going to drop really quickly because you don't have the stress, you don't have the cortisol. But not even that, your body is happier from the inside. This the slippery slope from the high to low is super slippery, so you're just going to come back to normal really quickly. And the thing is, if you're stressed chronically, your sugars are going to be raised chronically, and that causes more issues to the body. That's when you have things like, sores that are not healing, you have amputations, you have all sorts of, um, eye issues and diabetes related problems. So you don't want to have chronic stress and therefore chronic high sugars. You want to bring that down. So deal with your stress, deal with your nervous system, and your sugar levels will respond too. Listen, I know it's difficult to start, difficult to maintain, not sure where to go, but I got you. In the description below, I have my 21-day wellness tracker. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it takes for a habit to stick. It's stuff that I've learned in my 30 years of being a diabetic. Also in my time of just being a wellness person, just general good wellness tips and tricks that you can use on a daily basis. Some of it's cultural, a lot of it's very practical. It's so easy, and it just gives you a great starting point. And if you found this video interesting, helpful, you're part of my community. You're here to listen, you're here to learn, and I would love to learn from you. So definitely comment below, share it with a sister or a friend who's going through diabetes drama. Please do. This is our community. Ask me questions, comment below, like, subscribe, because you deserve wellness, softness, and success. And I'm happy to help you through that. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.